I promise you that if you stick with me till the end of the video, you're going to know how you can get into tech without the complexities of writing a code or building crazy technologies or complex systems. To be able to fully understand what this is and how you can get into tech without the complex issues that everybody faces, you need to understand the difference between tech and digital technology. Now, I know that they both are often used to replace each other. You hear people talking about tech skills, at the same time you hear them talking about digital skills, and you often wonder what's the difference between these two. Well, here we go. Tech is the short form for technology, and tech refers to the application of scientific knowledge to create tools, systems, softwares that make life easier, make processes faster, and all of that good stuff. While digital technology refers to specifically using electronic technology to store, process, send, and analyze data, that is ones and zeros. Okay, I know it might still be confusing. So picture this: technology is the bigger body and the application of those scientific knowledges. Now, how does knowledge interact with our day-to-day, how we affect everything that we do on a daily basis, that is the social media that we use to pass and send information, the pictures that we send and we receive, the music and all of that, all of those are under digital technology. Now, so it's possible for you to be working in tech but not in the digital space. But if you're working in the digital space, then you are definitely working with digital technology. So in simple words, you can say not all tech is digital, but everything digital is under tech. I know people say that getting into tech is hard, getting into tech is complex, blah, 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 but I'm here to debunk that for you. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because I have been able to do it. I was working with tech. I was working with tech, yes, but not particularly in tech, because I wasn't building softwares, I wasn't building tools and all that. I was merely using the technologies that were being provided, that existed and all, to amplify services, to amplify processes, and to solve challenges and problems that people had ultimately. Now, I've been doing this for 10 years now, a bit longer, but like professionally, or to say I try to make money from it or I try to make an impact or whatever for it, this will be my 10th year doing this. And I have learned so much in this space. My journey did not just start off with me automatically knowing what to do or saying, oh, this is where I'm going, this is the direction that I'm going to go, right? Today, I am a digital strategist with 10 years of experience, as earlier said. I have built an AI software that helps people get into tech or learn a digital skill. Also have a digital agency that is 2 years old now that solves people's problem around branding, marketing, and all of that. And also I've helped hundreds of businesses create their digital footprints with websites, softwares, automations, graphic, videos, and all around. Now, with this being said, one would think or expect that, wow, this guy is a tech bro, or this guy is deeply rooted in tech. But honestly, I just consider myself a digital enthusiast or a digital expert, as you would have it. I chose a very unique and important form of digital technology to specialize in, right? And I didn't know I was specializing already until when businesses were requesting for my service because of a problem that they had, and that service could actually solve their problem. Now, what is this service? Websites. So I started my journey as a blogger. I only wanted to make extra income by the side. I wasn't even sure what it is that I'm doing, but I just know that I wanted to make extra money by the side, and I didn't want to do it illegally. I also didn't want to gamble. I wanted a sure means of putting in work and then getting results. Financially, at the time, it was just financial. The impact, not so much. So I started blogging. I started my own blog, but getting to understand the requirements for you to make money from blogging, I looked to other options of, I looked to learn from other blogs and work for them and then learn while being on the job. So I started working with other blogs, posting for them, learning the dynamics of SEO and all that. And before I knew what was happening, after a short while, I understood SEO properly, that is search engine optimization, and I was able to break out of just blogging, and then started doing SEO so that businesses and people and creatives and all that could be easily found by the search engine. So I did that for a while, help musicians who have just put out new music easily get their music found, artists, and basically I was serving people in different industries. Now, mind you, I did not see myself as someone who was getting into tech. I merely just wanted to make extra money, and there was something that I was good at. I had good social interaction ability, so I was more or less just transferring that into the digital space. So what happened after a while was I noticed that because I could create blogs, business owners reached out to me to help them create a digital home for their businesses, where people can interact with their businesses. Where people can even shop with their businesses. Some wanted to be able to, show their products to their customers or their potential customers. And before I knew what was happening, I was building websites. It would sound like a motivation story if I come and I tell you that I knew what I was doing, I just wanted to do this, and then I did this, but I promise you, I did not know what I was doing. I just know that I was advancing because I had this yearning for knowledge. I just wanted to know more stuff. I wanted to also grow with the digital space. Yes, that's that, right? Because already I knew that, things are happening fast, things are changing. Because how come I didn't even know about blogging up until 2015? I mean, I knew it existed, but I didn't really know that it was something just anybody could do. I mean, at the time, Linda Ikeji, if you live in Nigeria, at the time, Linda Ikeji was the thing, and she had just bought a house valued at hundreds of millions at the time. And it was beginning to come to fruition. Naija Loaded, 360 Knobs, Yaba Left. These were the guys that were like dominating the market at the time. And so how I found myself from just being a blogger to becoming a website developer. Strange. And so I did that for a while, and I discovered that I had built websites for these guys, but what were they doing with the websites? And every year when you build a website, for those who know about websites, when you build a website, every year you have to either renew your domain and your server or your host, whatever it is that you're using. And so they would come to me after a year that they wanted to renew, but they didn't really get much sales from the website, or they didn't really get much conversion. And then I start to think to myself, like, why is it that these guys are not getting much conversion? Already I understood a couple of things about traffic already, because I was marketing my blog, and also I had gotten into SEO. So how that translates into traffic and conversion, I had to go study marketing. Now, not just marketing, I had to go study digital marketing to be able to understand how those traffic, how being visible on search engine, and how it can directly translate into more traffic for your business and ultimately convert into customers, paying customers. So when I understood this, I found myself doing digital marketing. However, to do digital marketing, I needed to do, if you're trying to market a product, you're trying to make something marketing, essentially trying to make something attractive to people, right? And a lot of times with marketing, it can be you selling something to someone who did not know that they needed that thing. So digital marketing or marketing a lot of times is you appealing to people's emotions. They do not necessarily know they need that thing, until it comes to them. If you're trying to appeal to the emotions of people, you can do that with audio, video, pictures, sounds, colors. These things you need to be able to. They had these elements that you have to use to attract people. So I had to learn that as well. So picked up some graphic design skills, picked up video editing, picked up audio editing as well. And mind you, I didn't have to go for a formal training to do these things, right? The thing was, I knew there was a problem that certain people needed, and I could solve that problem if I had this knowledge. So what I just went to do was went out to seek that knowledge on platforms that I could as much as possible. It was YouTube for me at the time, and I learned a lot using YouTube. And I should also add that when I started this thing, I did not have a dime to my name. I mean, when I started the entire digital journey, if you remember, the real reason why I did this was because I wanted to make money. I also did not have a computer of my own. I used to share my friend's computer whose half screen was broken. So I'd have to, when I open a tab, I have to minimize and then drag it into just half of the screen. I couldn't afford the kind of internet as much as I would, so I would stay back in school. This was at the time I had just gotten into university, so I would stay all night in school to use the school Wi-Fi because we had free access to the Wi-Fi. So I'd use the school Wi-Fi to work all night, and it didn't make sense to a lot of people. What was this guy doing? Why is he always in school at night? I mean, it's not even exams period, but I would just be there with my friend's computer, both of us, digging and researching and trying to make the best of the internet. When I had learned the digital marketing and I found out that, okay, I was solving a problem, I then started to commercialize these skills. I packaged it, commercialized it, put myself on Fiverr and Upwork. If I knew what happening, I saw myself getting clients here and there, and solving people's problems. And at the time, it was just enough to sustain myself until I wanted more. Right? I started saying that I could help businesses get bigger results than what they were paying me for. So I wanted more out of it. I wanted more out of life. I wanted more out of the skill. And this basically started when I actually finished university, and I'm like, okay, what next? And by the way, I studied theater arts. So there's been some sort of creative spark in me. But it in no way had anything to do with tech or digital technology. Everything that I know, everything that I learned was from YouTube. Of course, there are a couple of people that I knew in tech already who I would go to ask them questions and all, but nobody really has time for somebody who isn't even sure about what they wanted, because I wasn't sure. I didn't have a clear roadmap. I didn't have a clear vision. So who has time for people like that, right? But I mean, I just gave myself to this learning, and I continue to grow, continue to evolve until I was able to finally find my voice and then decide that, okay, this is what I wanted to do. This is how it connects with my field of study. This is how it connects with what 10-year-old me wanted to do. And so the same way I used to have people I used to run to ask questions back then, there were people who would always come to me to ask me questions like, okay, so Charles, how are you doing this? How do you do this? Blah, 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 blah. And I started to be that person for other people. Remember, I didn't have any formal education. The websites that I was building them with no-code tools, primarily WordPress, Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, Weebly. Oh my God, I was just a WordPress junkie. I was obsessed with WordPress because of the extended functionalities that it had. Learning that you could build any kind of website or any kind of web app with WordPress and all that. So when I noticed a lot of people were asking me questions on how to do this, how to get into the space and all that, I decided to build a system that could automatically help people answer their question. Build a sort of AI chatbot that would ask people questions. Okay, what are your visions? What are your goals? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And then when it gets that information, it will then search the internet and then provide you with all the information that you need. So yeah, I built that. Found somebody else who was also in line, but he was more technical, right? He was passionate about writing code and all, and then we joined forces together to release that product. And you know, it's been a learning curve, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but I really just wanted to share this story and share this experience with people so that you get to understand that working in tech does not necessarily mean you have to be writing code, or you have to be a software engineer, or you have to be a mechanical engineer, or anything. Working in tech could be as simple as using a digital tool to solve people's problems. Because why do you think the copywriters are called tech professionals? Why do people? I mean, because they are just writing, right? But when you are writing, and let's say you're writing for websites, you're writing for companies, or you're writing using certain tools, you're writing with AI, you're generating stuff and all, you're no longer just an average pen and paper writer, right? So anything that you do, whatever it is that you're doing, there's a digital form of it. There's a digital way to tap into it. I mean, you could just be a clothes seller, you could be a barber, you could be anything. And then I'll give an instance. If you're a barber, before your customers get a haircut, you could have an AI application you could have like a booking form where they book you in advance, and then when they book you, they have access to an AI app that shows them what a particular haircut will look like on them. And you have digitalized barbing. It could be food, you know, with VAR technologies now, people can actually see what the food will look like in real time. You know, if you have phones that have LiDAR scanners, and this comes with the Apple phones, with the new Apple phones, and yes, I'm an Apple fanboy, fine. Anyways, the LiDAR scanner, you know, you could just scan your table, and restaurants who have integrated this technology into their system can actually put that food on your table, so look at it via your phone screen to see what that food will look like in real time. You know, you can decide what size it will look like, how it will feel, and the possibilities are just endless with digital technology. So I don't want you to confuse technology with digital technology, even though digital technology is a part of technology, but digital technology can stand on its own. And yes, there are dependencies on the bigger space, and there are dependencies on scientific research and all of that, but you can carve out a niche for yourself through these. And then there are millions of people who are doing this. I am also on my journey, and that is why I had started documenting my processes, you know, to show people how I actually do things, what's possible, you know, started organizing these coaching sessions and trainings and all of that. And with that being said, I have a new product that I'm actually working on. It's a website design and development workshop. Now, this workshop is a full day workshop. For those living in Lagos, Nigeria, this full day workshop is going to help you understand what websites and web apps are, how you can build them without writing a single line of code, just like me. Initially, I was going to make a YouTube video about how I became a UI designer for a day, blah, 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 but I know like those in that space might come for me, because UI designers primarily use Figma to build prototypes. But guess what? I built a prototype with Canva. Canva is supposed to be just a friendly graphic design tool that you use. But when you understand, when you don't limit your creativity, you don't limit yourself, you think about things out of the box, you think about infinite possibilities, you'll be able to use the bare minimum to achieve big results. And that's literally what I did. So in this workshop, I'm going to be teaching you guys, or those who will be attending, how to build website UIs first off. So you design what a website looks like, and then translate it into a fully functioning web app. So we're gonna be designing with Canva, and then we're gonna be translating it into a fully functional website or web app with WordPress. That's not going to be all. You're also going to have access to all the tools that I use to make this possible. One of the tools that I use is Divi. In fact, that's my favorite tool for building on WordPress. Subscription to Divi costs about $90 for a year, so, and you have unlimited access to it. For those who will be attending my class physically, they'll be getting access to this tool for free. This class is, more information is going to be in the description, so you can just click the link. And if you're watching this video after the workshop has been held, you can simply just use the same link, or there's going to be a link in the description where you can buy a recording of the class. Now, this is just an investment for you. This is me compiling 10 years of knowledge into one day, which means I'm going to spare you of all the unnecessary jargons and all the perspire to Maguire, right? I'm just going to give it to you straight up, what it is, what is not, what it isn't. Now, this does not say that you're going to learn everything I've learned in 10 years, but you are going to have access to, you're going to be steps further. And for those who actually attend the class, you have access to a private community where I'm actually going to work with you once a week. We're going to have live sessions, but this is not going to be physical, just virtual live sessions, one-on-one, once a week for 4 weeks. And of course, we get to communicate via text and all, but this live access, we'll do Q&As, we'll answer your questions, answer your challenges, and there are lots of perks that come with it. So just use the link in the description to get more information on that. And like I said earlier, for those who will not be able to attend virtually, there will also be a link for you to purchase the recording, so you have access to the live recording, also access to the community and all that. More details on that would be on my social channels or my website, and just you can find all the information you need. So I hope I've been able to help you realize that it is possible to get into tech or to work in tech without, you know what I'm talking about. That's right. All right, so if you found this informative, if you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe, so that when I have more information like this, you would be the first to get notified about it. I can't wait to see you for those who will be coming for the class, I can't wait to see you, look forward to seeing you. And remember, you can always connect with me on my social media channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, same handle, Charles Titanium. Look forward to seeing you guys again. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. Stay blessed by the best. Cheers.